The weather forecast with MTN.
Good evening, beautiful people, and happy you are able to join me once again on another edition of the weather forecast. I believe you are having a glorious Sunday. Tonight, we may expect moderate to heavy precipitation dominating most of the Adamawa region, and also parts of the northwest and southwest regions may continue to experience moderate to heavy precipitation with a cumulative rainfall between 25 to 50 millimeters. And until tomorrow, parts of the northwest and southwest regions may expect moderate to heavy rainfall with cumulative rainfall no less than 25 millimeters. And how the rest of the nation is going to look, it may be calm with light isolated showers, and temperatures tonight are expected to get as low as 16 to 17 degrees in the west and northwest regions, the Adamawa, center and east regions as low as 18 to 19 degrees, and we may have the south at 20 degrees, the littoral southwest, north and far north regions getting as low as 21 to 23 degrees. It is important that vigilance is maintained over the northwest and southwest regions, where continuous precipitation may expose those areas to the risk of flooding. Thank you for watching. Have a good night and good luck.
In the news tonight, politicians, civil society activists, diplomats, and the common man have vehemently condemned the brutal killing of innocent school kids studying for a brighter tomorrow in Fiango, KUMBA. Musical artists of the Cameroon National Society of Musical Arts, SONACAM, represented by more than 500 artists, are beginning to compose the same symphony as they agree to build a body that carries their values and put an end to the mayhem in the sector. Good evening, I am Benen Bumagana in Yaoundé. Welcome to the 7:30 News.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
The population of KUMBA in the southwest region is still to recover from shock following the gruesome murder of some pupils at the Mother Francisca International Academy in the Fiango neighborhood. Unidentified gunmen attacked the school yesterday, Saturday, killing some of the students. Charles Abuno gives us updates from KUMBA.
This is the scene of the incident that took away the lives of young innocent children who were only exercising their right to go to school. No one could be indifferent to this monstrous act.
I am baffled but not discouraged. It is a terrible act of barbarism, and I want to say that it's clear to me that it can't be worse than this.
At the KUMBA District Hospital, where some of the injured children were rushed to, health personnel are working very hard to give the young patients the best treatment possible and save their lives.
We received 20 cases of wounded children today in our emergency services, 6 of which were very critical. We evacuated 4 out of KUMBA because of the surgical specialties that needed to be in place to take care of them.
The administration and population of Meme Division have defended the right of young people to go to school. The senseless act of the terrorist has been condemned, and the state will do everything to bring the culprits to book.
They can be reassured that very soon they are going to be arrested and they will be punished according to the law.
The administration of Meme Division has called on the population to be calm, assuring them that measures are being taken to make their children safe in school.
Difficult time indeed for the population and for every Cameroonian. The population of Kumba came out for a peaceful march this afternoon from the town green roundabout to the SDO's office to condemn the barbaric act that took place yesterday Saturday in Fiango. Details from CRTV Southwest, now in Kumba.
Clad in black and other mourning attire, the young, the old, men and women of Kumba, chief town of Meme Division, came out to express their anger and exasperation over the recent carnage, marching with peace plans from their respective neighborhoods to the common point of convergence at the amusement park to the Bisek Junction through Kumba town to the SDO's office. They strongly reprehended the attack on school children and other forms of violence, contending that there is no justification for such a gruesome act.
What happened yesterday in Bamileke Street should never happen again. Yes! Please call the forces of law and order when you find amber loitering in your quartiers. Be your brother's keeper.
They were joined by a heartbroken paramount ruler of the Bafos, Fon Mukete, the fourth Ekoko.
I'm here to resound the disgust that the entire nation of Cameroon, and not just Cameroon, the entire world, people have been watching the pictures, asking themselves why. How could people be so mean, wicked, and demonic? We shall say no to violence. What do we say to violence? No.
On placards, the population of Kumba re-echoed the fact that they need pens and not guns, enough is enough, and that education is a human right. Among the marchers was Honorable Bapot Lipots from the Nyong and Kele in the center region, who was out to show solidarity of Kumba. The population on the occasion also prayed to God to cleanse and heal the land.
Government has condemned in very unequivocal terms the devilish killings of students in Kumba. During a press conference granted by the Minister of Communication, who doubles as government spokesman, Rene Emmanuel Sadi reassured Cameroonians that all necessary measures have been taken to reinforce security on school campuses and that perpetrators will pay for their crimes. Gilbert Ongene was at the press conference and now summarizes the salient points of the minister's declaration in the following report.
Spokesperson Rene Emmanuel Sadi does not mince words in showing indignation and outrage at the barbaric and senseless killings.
The government of the Republic, shocked and deeply outraged, condemns in the strongest terms the acts carried out by the perpetrators of these odious cowards, an abominable act against innocent young people.
He, however, reassures Cameroonians that government has taken concrete and crucial measures to help track down the murderers and bring them to book.
Special units of the Cameroonian Armed Force have undertaken to secure the town of Kumba.
Meantime, he calls on countries where those fueling these unjustifiable atrocities have sought refuge to collaborate so that these persons face the strong arm of the law. The president, he further explains, has dispatched an interministerial delegation to be headed by the Minister of Territorial Administration, which will visit the scene of the incident and condole with parents of the victims. The Minister of Communication has also announced that government is committed to seeing that schools continue in the southwest and northwest regions unabated.
Thank you very much, Gilbert Ongene. But at the end of this newscast, we are going to have a full broadcast of the minister's statement to pressmen that was yesterday. But we continue this time. The political class is outraged by the shooting to death of several students in class in Fiango Kumba in the southwest region. Ebenezer Akanga talked to some politicians who condemned in strong terms the heartless killing of the innocent and summed up the reactions in this report.
Emotions arrive within the political class following the gruesome killing of school children in Kumba in the southwest region of Cameroon.
Killing the children going to school, the innocent children, for? For what? Has a mother, has a grandmother It hurt me so much.
It's not acceptable. That's a bad situation.
Be it within the ruling party, the hardcore or moderate opposition, there is strong condemnation of the barbaric act.
Let's bring all those people to understand that we are one country, that peace is very important. If now they don't want it, then we're going to get up and get to them and get them.
The political class is very shocked as to how people can carry out such barbaric acts in modern-day society.
What these terrorists have done is very, very bad. And I say we don't want that. We say never such acts in our dear and beloved country.
To the political class, the separatist terrorists have crossed the Rubicon. The government and the population should take their responsibilities fully, for enough is enough.
Indeed, Ebenezer Kanga from the Littoral region, politicians, civil society activists and the man on the street have vehemently condemned the killing of school kids in the Fiango neighborhood in Kumba. Our reporters in the Littoral have gathered some of the reactions that are here proposed for you.
For me, it's not normal to take children in otage because they have the future in health and they don't know. They are not following the problem, and we can't kill children in this way.
West region, the population has also come against the gruesome killing of school children in the southwest region. They condemn such an act, which is coming at a time when schools have resumed and everyone was praising the efforts of all. Let's follow up this report from CRTV Northwest in Bamenda.
They have been devastated with the KUMBA school killings and are requesting the administration to step up security around the school campuses.
Up to this moment, I am not myself. We should put our resources together to stop this because I am dumbfounded.
Prayers have been said in the northwest region for the peaceful repose of the school-attending children. Religious authorities are asking Cameroonians to seek peace.
I would say that the blood of these children should be the seed for peace, to begin genuine peace talks so that we find a headway and stop all this bloodshed that is going on.
You know, in Islamic, if someone kills, you kill one soul, means we have killed the whole nation. We're supposed to pray hard.
The Northwest has witnessed an improvement in school attendance for the first time since the start of the socio-political crisis, and school officials are upbeat that many will join the back-to-school effort in the days ahead.
Some leaders of the civil society and non-governmental organizations in Cameroon have also voiced their indignation against the brutal killing of innocent students studying for a better future. Gilbert Ongene again talked to some civil society actors and leaders of NGOs and edited the following report for the news.
Shock, consternation and outright condemnation of the brutal murder of the KUMBA school children is what transpires from any conversation with civil society leaders and NGOs.
I think if I was given a gun at that time and the assailants or the murderers pointed to me, I would have shot at them and killed them.
That is the peak of wickedness, barbarism.
The gruesome murder they proceed is not only ill-timed, but completely unacceptable.
We are yet to comprehend where children come in the clash of guns. If it were a shootout, like a battle between the forces, you would say they were in between, they were caught by stray bullets. It is a targeted attack of innocent children.
All they asked for was to gain an education, which is a development driver.
The church, through this letter of lamentation from the Bishop of Kumba, His Lordship Fon Agapitus, says enough is enough. No amount of tears can heal the wounds or bring back the children from death, they explain. But they strongly think it is now time for something concrete to be done to bring the conflict, which is taking a dangerous twist, to an end. For as they put it, yesterday it was women, today school children. Who knows whose turn it will be tomorrow? They all wonder aloud.
And the CRTV is carrying out an extensive coverage of the tragic situation in KUMBA. Further investigative reports, analysis, commentaries, interviews will be yours in the days ahead. Tomorrow, there is a bilingual newscast at 7 p.m. And at 8 p.m., there's going to be a special edition that goes deeper into the crisis in KUMBA. What happened? What is going on? And what has been happening. But I said earlier that immediately after this newscast, you will follow the statement of the Minister of Communication on the killings in KUMBA. This time, some kids in the New Bell neighborhood, that is in Douala now, have received school manuals to assist them during this academic year. The gifts were donated by Cameroonian footballer Sergio Le to his native land to put smiles on the faces of the children in that area. Madon Kwele reports.
He has returned to his humble beginnings to commune with those who encouraged him to embrace his passion. Sergio Leque, the football defender, has not forgotten his New Bell neighborhood and decided to join his parents to bar the road to illiteracy in that locality. The Cameroonian has provided youths in New Bell with school manuals such as books, bags, sanitary equipment, among others. A gesture geared towards encouraging them to embrace the path to education in order to one day realize their passion, like him, with confidence and determination. A mark of recognition, but also of generosity, which the Cameroonian has resolved to continuously portray as he returns to the football pitch in the days ahead. Ready to face future challenges in his career, the footballer's sole request from his parents and family members is for their incessant prayers and support so as to keep putting smiles on the faces of the kids to whom he has just proven that distance is no barrier.
Another smile, this time in the Mbam and Inibu division of the Central region, where the Women's Federation for Solidarity and Socio-Economic Development have offered didactic material to primary and secondary school children in Nituku. The NGO, led by the first deputy mayor of the Nituku Council, Claire Bendo-Bal, was accompanied by the representative of the Turkish Cooperation Agency, as we hear in this report by Ate Bonaventure.
One people, one complete school bag, and a smile on the face. The donation is an initiative of the Women's Federation for Solidarity and Socio-Economic Development, headed by the first deputy mayor of Nituku, Claire Bendo-Bal. Their objective is to support parents from underprivileged homes, provide school needs for their children. Thanks to a special support from the Turkish Cooperation Agency, the Federation offered a consignment of didactic material which includes school bags, books and writing gear for nursery, primary and secondary school children. Madame Bendo-Bal has challenged the benefactors to make good use of the gifts by scoring good results at the end of course exams. The people expressed their gratitude, while the Turkish partner pledges to lend more support to the Amazons for the benefit of the locals.
The Ordinary General Assembly of the Cameroon National Society of Musical Arts, SONACAM, represented by more than 500 musical artists from the 10 regions, has elaborated and adopted the regulatory text that will enable SONACAM to function better. The General Assembly, which took place Saturday at the Yaoundé Conference Center, was chaired by the Minister of Arts and Culture, Bidung Pat. Constantine Baum reports.
Such situations are very common whenever Cameroonian artists meet for their General Ordinary Assembly. Various factions come with their agendas. This inclusive General Assembly has brought all the factions for them to work on 3 key laws that deal with the status of SONACAM, the Constitution and the Electoral Code.
There's been a lot of wrangling over the founding instruments of the corporation, and so the minister, as a regulatory body, decided to bring everybody together for these reforms.
The system for collection and distribution of revenue in Cameroon is very outdated. The system of categorizing artists and categorizing works is practically inexistent.
3 years, there is no any count. There is no any
maybe constitution.
After more than 10 hours, the General Assembly finally adopted the laws that would define a better path for artists.
Special provisions have been put in them to control those people who will take the company. For instance, there is an article on a surveillance commission or committee or council, which is actually supposed to, on a day-to-day basis, control the general manager, the board, and even go down to the agencies.
The General Assembly was chaired by the Minister of Arts and Culture, Ismail Bidunkwa, who urged the musicians to work towards achieving a stronger and more inclusive Sonakam.
Cameroon's economy has drastically suffered an economic slowdown in recent years as experienced in the various sectors of national life. While the production sector has to be boosted to awaken a broad-based development, it is important to put in place a workable strategy for a durable economic revamp. Luma Slim Davis tells us more.
Cameroon's economy has suffered serious setback over the years. The social crisis in the country that has lasted for about 4 years and the coronavirus pandemic have combined with the global economic recession to seriously undermine previous economic projections. The need to mitigate the economic slowdown effect should bring on board development partners and private sector operators to strongly review a growth strategy to ensure an overall revamp of the national economy, putting emphasis on promoting local industries to produce for local consumption as well as for exportation will help largely to revamp the economy. That is, apart from producing needed basic goods, it will help in reducing unemployment. The National Solidarity Fund of 1 billion francs on orders of the head of state injected a seed capital fund to finance operations under the response strategy to the coronavirus pandemic is just online.
The Cameroon Business Forum has come and gone, but there are still a lot of lessons to learn. Economic experts say improving local production through industrial transformation and exploiting the CEMAC market will help boost the local production sector in the country, hence increasing the country's GDP. Beatrice Ngum spoke to some of these experts and prepared this report for the 7:30 News.
Economic experts in Cameroon say the market is big, but producing to meet local demand is not proportionate. They posit that though the import substitution approach is ideal to develop the country's trade balance, investing in goods and services should not be neglected.
You have to launch production to address the basic needs. If you launch a production in Cameroon to produce school bags, with that you have $2 billion of goods that can be sold and produced internally in Cameroon.
For them, increasing local production through industrial transformation will mean exploiting the CEMAC market and even others.
The right strategy is to look towards Nigeria because there the gross domestic product per inhabitant is $3,000. And then there are 200 million of Nigerians that you can feed, you can provide manufactured goods, and you can have a very good partner for your own industrial development.
Thus, to boost the local transformation industry, internal competition has to be encouraged and prices made affordable compared to prices on foreign goods.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
Let's now talk about our fight against the coronavirus pandemic. We take you to the far north region, which shares boundaries with Chad and Nigeria, to find out what measures have been put in place by the regional delegation of the Ministry of Public Health to annihilate the pandemic. At the Public Health Emergency Center, Baldwin Sama engages his guest, the regional delegate of Public Health, Dr. Hamadu Bava Bubakari, in a video chat on these measures.
Good evening to you, Benin Bumagana. A tour of the different regions this Sunday takes us to the far north region of the country to get to know how much efforts have been put in to convince the population to adhere to these barrier measures against the spread of the coronavirus. And as she announced, our guest is the far north regional delegate of public health, Dr. Amadou Bava. Mr. Regional Delegate, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Baldwin Sama.
Tell us, Mr. Regional Delegate, how much effort have you guys been putting in so far in as much as trying as much as possible to eradicate the deadly virus, the coronavirus, in the far north region of Cameroon?
First, we continue with awareness raising campaign on the barrier measure as decreed by the government. And at the same time, we continue to massively test the populations, especially in communities. All positive cases are systematically placed under treatment. They and their contact subjects are followed up and their environment disinfected.
And we noticed that there are some segments of the population who are very adamant to change, who don't want to respect some of these barrier measures. What are you doing in as much as to convince them to respect these barrier measures?
Thank you. It must be said that since the decentralization of the management of this pandemic in the 31 health districts in the Fano region, we are receiving fewer and fewer calls. However, we use all communication channels to remind people of need to make maximum use of the toll-free number.
Thank you so much, Mr. Regional Delegate, for having accepted to be a guest on the 7:30 newscast this evening. It was a tour to the far north region, Benin Bumagana. That's the situation. Next weekend, we shall be taking our viewers to the north and the Adamoa regions of the country. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
Thank you very much, Baldwin Sama von Cayman. Now let's talk about our road safety campaign. CRTV's Kilian Dantdifon says the National Gendarmerie is not moved by influence peddling as the Road Safety Task Force carries out its 296th phase of the campaign since its launch about 19 years ago. Our reporter followed the Road Safety Squad on the Yaoundé-Mbalmayo-Ebolova road axis and reports that the sensitization is still part of the mission amidst repressive measures on delinquent users. His report.
The radar just flashed a vehicle that disrespects speed limit on the Yaoundé-Mbalmayo-Ebolova National Road Number 2, a recurrent offense among others. Away from highway code offenses, influence peddling is a common practice on this axis, but the National Gendarmerie is not moved by that.
Everyone claims to be the relative of a member of government, and we only apply the law. We don't care about their emotions.
Government anti-COVID-19 measures are a priority of the Gendarmerie Road Safety Task Force. Sensitization, not tolerance, is the modus operandi of the National Gendarmerie Road Safety Task Force.
The newly elected mayor of the Abomban Council, His Royal Highness Charmant Oyal, and his two deputies have been installed into their functions. They were called upon by the SGO of the Upper Nyong Division, Joseph Bertrand Mache, to put aside their differences and work for the development of the council area. Ewane Pole reports.
The population turned out at the Abomban ceremonial ground to add color to the event through cultural manifestations during the installation of their mayor, Charmant Oyal, who is also a traditional ruler. While commissioning the new executive made up of CPDM party militants, the senior divisional officer, Joseph Bertrand Mache, exhorted the mayor, His Majesty Charmant Oyal, and his deputies to put aside their differences and work for the development of the council area.
Call on municipal councillor and call on the population to take advantage of the new legislation to help this marvelous project of decentralization.
The mayor, who is on his second mandate, assured the population that he will work tirelessly to improve on their living conditions. The occasion also witnessed the award of May 20th promotion medals to some civil servants in Abongbang.
And as we said at the start of this newscast, that at this moment we are going to receive the full statement of the Minister of Communication, that is government's stance on the killings in Fiango Kumba. Let's listen to the Minister of Communication.
The government of the Republic hereby informs the national and international community that the terrorist act of unbearable cruelty and barbarism was perpetrated today, October 24, 2020, in the restive town of KUMBA at about 11 a.m. This gruesome act was perpetrated by armed separatist terrorist group in a school located in the Fiango neighborhood, KUMBA 2 subdivision, Meme division in the southwest region. In fact, a group of over 10 terrorists armed with war weapons and dressed up in real commando style aboard 3 motorcycles stormed the premises of the Mother Francisca International Bilingual Academy and unfeelingly opened fire on the students that were in classrooms. The first assessment report of this terrorist act reveals as follows: 6 students shot dead, notably 5 girls and 1 boy. 13 injured, notably 10 girls and 3 boys, with 7 in a very critical condition. It should, however, be noted with regret that the Mother Francisca International Bilingual Academy only launched its activities at the start of the 2020-2021 school year without the knowledge of the competent administrative authorities and could not benefit from the same security measures enjoyed by other schools in the Meme division. Informed of this tragic incident, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, ordered that the injured should be taken care of and were, as such, rushed to the appropriate health facilities in Kumba, Boya, and Mutengene. In the same vein, the local administrative authorities, who are fully mobilized, have ensured the transfer of the mortal remains of the deceased to the mortuary of the Kumba District Hospital. In addition, in terms of security, special units of the Cameroonian Armed Force have undertaken to secure the town of Kumba. The government of shocked and deeply outraged, condemned in the strongest terms the acts carried out by the perpetrators of this odious, cowards, and abominable acts against innocent young people. The government is of the opinion that no cause in the world can justify or legitimize such systematic attacks on the life of human beings, not to talk of the lives of innocent children, pupils, or students who should attend school, college, high school, university, be educated, and be able to look after themselves and be able to conveniently take over from their elders tomorrow. The government of the Republic wishes to once again take the entire Cameroon people as witness and firmly denounces all these fellow citizens who, lurking in the shadows abroad in their host countries, mastermind these unspeakable assassinations and fuel the climate of insecurity in the Northwest and Southwest regions. The government wishes to appeal once again on the active and frank collaboration of friendly countries harboring the sponsors of this armed rebellion, as well as that of the international organizations who are deeply attached to the defense of human rights, to help track down these armed groups so as to ease and consolidate the pacification process of the Northwest and Southwest regions. In addition, the government strongly refutes these false allegations, as well as the subterfuge and other maneuvers of the said armed bands, who are unscrupulously tending to push the blame of all sorts of atrocities against the population of the Northwest and Southwest regions, like the horrific attack of today on the Cameroonian armed forces through endless campaigns of false propaganda through social media. As it is, there is no doubt that the terrorist attack committed in KUMBA this day reflects the disarray and rout of these separatist armed bands, as well as to the resolve of the educational community, notably the parents, teachers, and students, to defy their threats and slogans in deciding to resume classes in their respective localities in accordance with the recommendations and prescriptions of the government of the Republic. That is to say, in other words, that the objective of these separatists is to break the fresh impetus observed in the resumption of classes as part of the start of the 2020-2021 school year in the Northwest and Southwest regions, and to thereby dissuade parents from sending their children to school. The government intends, on its part, to reaffirm its resolve to carry out all necessary measures to address all the intimidation threats by creating and preserving the conditions that would allow for the pursuit of the back-to-school campaign and the security of the educational community of the concerned regions as a whole. Allow me, on behalf of the government, to present to the deeply bereaved families the sincere condolences of the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, as well as the deep sympathy of the entire nation. In a nutshell, with regard to this tragic situation, the Prime Minister, head of government, has, on the very high instructions of the President of the Republic, decided this day to urgently dispatch an interministerial delegation to KUMBA to present the comfort, solidarity, and support of the entire Cameroonian people to the bereaved families. In addition, the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic, in charge of defense, has been instructed, in collaboration with the other relevant services, to initiate an investigation in order to determine the exact circumstances of this attack and to actively search for the culprits, for them to be brought to book before competent courts. Thank you for your kind attention.
And thank you for following the 7:30 news. Do not forget that to know more about the KUMBA incident, follow the bilingual news tomorrow at 7 p.m., a special edition on CRTV at 8 p.m. That is tomorrow. But for now, watch the 8:30 news right after this with Arthur Badinoman. Have a blessed night.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing